First, let me welcome you to the world of direct mail. And basically, it's roughly divided into outgoing and incoming. It is called an insert machine.
This is an insert machine?
Yeah, it's a profession to know how to do this.
I couldn't just start sorting.
No, you couldn't just start sorting. No, you have to know how to do it. This is a forklift.
Right.
Okay.
What is direct mail?
Okay.
Why would I want to use it, and how would I best use it?
Okay. Direct mail, by definition, it reaches the customer directly from the person. This is called hand fulfillment, or sometimes hand job. It simply means that we have to insert into the envelope materials that cannot be done by machine.
Is this for airmail?
No, this is not for airmail. This is just to entertain the workers here.
When I'm writing my letters, the details, do they have to be true?
They absolutely have to be true. Obviously, you may walk into an area called mail fraud. Consequences of mail fraud. Jail. Am I going too much in detail?
No, you're fine. So far, direct mail sounded pretty good. But I decided to really put it to the test by asking David to create fundraising campaigns for three dubious characters. Savings and loan swindler Charles Keating, serial killer and cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer, and me, Roy Sekoff. We started with Keating.
The target market that I would recommend to this type of campaign is obviously upper income people immediately. Because anybody poor who's been swindled, etc., you're not going to get any response.
We want platinum card people. We want people with Neiman Marcus credit cards.
That is very possible again, because they may feel that he has done business legally and again may have received a bad rap, especially if we're appealing to the conservative market who believe in the 100% free enterprise, get government off your back regulations.
Very good. Okay, now we continue on our path along the fringe. Dahmer was next. I offered a possible approach. Let us be blunt. If you think that the government is entitled to strictly limit your diet to only fish, fowl, beef, pork, grains, dairy, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, then throw this letter away right now. But if you think that man is entitled to sample the culinary pleasures of all of God's creatures, including the flesh of his fellow man, please read on.
Not bad. Okay.
We're looking for, we are the friends of Jeffrey Dahmer.
The friends of Jeffrey Dahmer will probably have a very negative effect on most of the population of the United States. Let me think for 1 second. Friends of Jeffrey Dahmer. Friends of Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, what was the verdict? Was he guilty but insane?
No, guilty.
No insanity. Okay, then that's the approach. We have an insane man that is not responsible for his actions. And we should approach it in the sense that he was convicted in spite of being insane. We can't be that cruel of a society as not to be sympathetic to these type of causes.
Very good. So,
okay.
In general, putting aside our committees for a minute, this is a pretty good way to make some money, to raise some money.
Direct mail in general, yes.
It's kind of got the wheels turning here, and I'm thinking, what about me?
Okay.
I make a decent living.
Okay.
But, I always seem to be scrambling for a little extra money.
Okay.
A little extra pocket change.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, could we draft a letter to help me?
Absolutely yes.
Right.
Absolutely yes.
David suggested we include my wife Tammy in our appeal.
Dear friend of the American dream, you've probably never heard of Roy Sekoff, and that is why we're writing to you today. Roy recently celebrated his first wedding anniversary with his beautiful wife Tammy. Like the rest of us, they seek the American dream, but for Roy and Tammy, what so many of us already have is just impossible. Please take a moment to make a pledge for any amount.
Dear fellow friend of civil liberties, are you shocked by our letterhead? Are you asking yourself, why would anyone be a friend of Jeffrey Dahmer? It's a good question. The answer is simple. If Jeffrey Dahmer cannot be declared insane, what chance do the rest of us have should we be unfortunate enough to break the law while suffering from an emotional disorder? We need your help.
Dear friend of free enterprise, you're not truly surprised that Charles Keating has friends, are you? We are a group of concerned business people who believe that Charles Keating's only crime was an unfortunate combination of bad choices and bad luck. Please, make that pledge today for any amount.
Campaign set, it was time to put David's work on the line. We mailed out over 12,000 letters to a cross-section of U.S. citizens. 3 weeks later, the results were in. So I got less money than Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Keating?
People obviously care about you less than they care about Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Keating. I'd hate to disappoint you. That is the fact.
Even though we only asked for pledges, all three campaigns received cash donations. Had we sent letters to every household in America, our test results indicate that Jeffrey Dahmer would have received $1,205,000, Charles Keating $868,000, and me? Well, let's just say I came in third. Are you surprised that Jeffrey Dahmer, perhaps the most notorious of our campaigns, got the most?
No.
People took the time to really write. I mean, we see here with Keaton, donate to a crook, never. You deserve what you got, you crook. You can kiss my blah, blah, blah. I can understand Keating getting negative letters. I can understand Dahmer getting negative letters. But I and my wife got tons of negative responses. I mean, people really got on it. I mean, the American way is to do it on your own, not by begging. This one says, you're no better than the scum in the street. Get a life. Here's when they took a full-page letter. You don't appear to be very intelligent. But we weren't sending these to kooks, were we?
No, absolutely not to kooks.
Well, what do you make of the fact that a regular guy gets less money than a swindler and a cannibal?
It actually has a more rational explanation than you expect. Jeffrey Dahmer is a celebrity. His name draws attention, positive and negative, but celebrity is a celebrity, regardless.
So you're saying that I would have been better off as if I was a convicted felon?
You would have been better off as a famous convicted felon.
What does that say?
I think it is an indication of what a celebrity name would do. And it's also the ease of which we managed to move people away from the horror of his crime into a neutral issue, which may have nothing to do with Jeffrey Dahmer.
So that's the secret. Moving people away from what you really are and into something they can feel good about. So good, in fact, that Americans contribute over $50 billion each year to direct mail entrepreneurs like Ross Perot, Jesse Helms, and Oliver North. It just goes to show, people will send money to anyone. Well, just about.